What's up, everybody? This is your boy D. Welcome back to another episode of The Triangle. Bam!
And it's your girl, CJ.
Bam!
All right, so boom. I got Taco Bell the other day, and I've been staying away from fast food because I've been trying to do better, right? I get Taco Bell, I eat in the car because you got to eat before you get around your kids so you don't have to share. Let me tell you, my ass was on fire. Like, do they have Kegel exercises before your asshole? Because I couldn't.
Do they?
I was doing like a leprechaun jig in the elevator because I had to keep the shit in. And
was it from the Taco Bell?
What'd you say?
Was it from the Taco Bell, or you think it was just like you already had the shit?
I don't eat that shit like that. So long story short, I mean, I have weak asshole muscles. So somebody let me know how to step my asshole muscle game. I'm Brandy, by the way.
I think if you rub some grapefruit around your sphincter, it should help. Just
no, it does not.
I could practice with a Gatorade bottle.
That's what you don't want to do. You don't want to do that. That's the last thing you should do.
If you guys are listening this week, head on over to our YouTube to check out Brandy and her werewolf and D as a traveling guide.
Wait, we have to pose because I got
and me as a witch. We got to pose?
Yeah, we got to pose. Okay,
real quick.
3.
Are we done?
I think so. She's gonna screenshot that bitch and put it up. Anyway, yes, take your mask off, Brandy. There you. Oh, that's good. That'll work. Okay.
Oh, Tina Turner.
Look at that. Went from werewolf to Tina Turner. What y'all gonna do with it? Nothing. What y'all know? Nothing.
Oh, so good. Oh my God. So super excited today. We got some historical stories and some of our own again. It's part 2 of our Bloctober Spooksville Spectacular series. Who wants to start? Because I know everybody has their own.
Oh my God. So can I start with something like really fun and quick? 2 things.
Yes.
You guys can answer this in whatever order you feel. Someone asked if we wanted to share what we're afraid of, like what scares us. And I was like, okay.
That's pretty deep.
I know, right? So I'll start because I ain't never scared. Inside. I ain't never scared.
Ain't never scared.
I ain't never scared.
Hey.
So I am afraid of death, but not of actually dying, of not finishing shit I need to do, like going prematurely, so to speak.
Oh.
I want to get a whole bunch of shit done, whether it be like traveling or accomplishing my own dreams, seeing my son walk down the aisle. You know what I mean? Like there's stuff that I want to do. And I think hearing those stories about kids that don't make it to prom and people that don't make it past 35, I just be like, fuck, man. Like that's a little scary to me because death and taxes is the only thing for certain. And we don't know when our number is up.
I know, right? That is kind of
scary.
Yeah, that's a little scary. Every now and again, I think way too much of that about that shit right before I go to sleep.
Oh, that's the best time. Middle of the night.
I'm like, why am I thinking about this right now?
Because your brain won't stop. Are you scared of anything like entity wise?
No. Anytime I've ever encountered something, like I was saying on last week's show, it like pisses me off because then I'd be feeling like, all right, why you feel like you could do this shit to me?
Oh, gotcha.
Or what's going on in my house? Like I get angry black woman with it. When it comes to that stuff. I don't get afraid. I probably would if it seemed like it was out of my control or something with my kid, but it's never gotten to that point.
Gotcha.
But I've never been sure about that. But what about you guys?
What are you scared of, D?
Well, I wouldn't say entity-wise, but I wouldn't say it's so much of a fear. Not necessarily a fear, but I'd say CJ just totally fucking threw me off right now.
What are you afraid of? CJ disappearing?
CJ disappearing? No, but I'd say not necessarily entity-wise, but somebody breaking in my house and killing me. I've always thought about it. Yeah.
I feel like
it's always
my answer.
Well, no, it's like one of those things where you think about it as you're falling asleep. Like, what if somebody just breaks in my fucking house and kills me. Not kills me because they want to, but kills me because they're trying to rob me, and I see their face, and it's too late. They just gotta blow my fucking shit back.
I think about stuff like that. I think about if there's a robbery or something, especially with all these jobs I have, and coming home so late at night on the weekends. I'm like, I would look straight down. Like I would literally look at the ground because I'm like, I don't want you feeling like you got to take me out the game because I saw your face.
Oh, right.
That's scary. I watched some shit. What was I watching? But it fucked me up. It really mentally fucked me up because she was similar situation. Somebody was in her house, and she immediately went down and started saying the Lord's Prayer. And then the person who had the gun was like agitated. It was like, shut the fuck up, shut up, and just shot her. And I'm like, what the fuck? That is some crazy shit to think about. So it's like, that's one of my biggest fears. Somebody just blowing my shit back for nothing that I've done. You just happen to stumble across my house and thought it looked great to rob. And I'm gonna let you know right now, if you're planning on robbing me, your ass is fucking practicing because I ain't got shit in my fucking house.
About to be disappointed.
It's like that video I seen when somebody tried to rob this nigga and he was like, you got $2.80 in your wallet. Like,
did he give it back?
You hungry? Like, let me take you out.
Right, let me rob your ass.
No, that's funny that you guys all say that because I'm the same way. Like, my grandmother used to always say that people are the scariest thing.
Yes.
Like,
maybe
the people who are here on the physical plane are scarier than any other entity because they can, like, physically reach out anytime.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
And just fuck your world up. For
just
nothing.
like I'm the same way. I'm like, and like what you said about retail, when I used to work retail, our rule was to like never leave the store by ourselves at the end of closing. There always had to be somebody, and if you ended up being the only person, always get security to walk you to your car and shit like that. Because the last place I worked at, the Hewlett Mall in Fort Worth, they were kidnapping people broad daylight, like for sex trafficking. Yeah.
Wow.
That's like some Vegas shit.
Damn, Vegas too. But it's like broad daylight that they were doing this, nighttime too. But I mean, the fact that it didn't matter what time of day it was.
No, that's probably better for those fucked up people anyway, because people do feel like false sense of security during the daytime.
Yeah,
you'll have more people telling you to be careful at night than you will be careful at 1 o'clock in the afternoon. Like, no.
That is like
another scary thing is all these like shootings, whether they're government planned or whether it's people just really going crazy. It's like, damn, the only thing I want to be afraid of with my kid going to middle school or high school is him fucking around with somebody too soon.
Right.
Not if the school's gonna get shut up today.
No, but it's like really crazy that we have to worry. I mean, like one of my friends posted on Facebook that she had to buy her kid a bulletproof backpack because of where she was at. Like, that's insane to me.
They for civilians?
Yes, you can. Yes, I know. He says civilians. We still on base mentality and shit.
We're civvies now.
Well, it's just weird to me because I remember like when I worked for AFIS and stuff and on base, they used to give us terrorist training, but that's because we worked on base and bomb threat training and shit like that. But now it's like everybody's doing it everywhere.
I have that shit now. I have to go through that shit right now at my job.
I would think that Vegas.
And I work at a hotel.
Well, I think Vegas would be considered like big city situations, especially because of that one shooting that happened already.
Yeah.
Remember? Yeah, that was like close to your house too, wasn't it? Like,
yeah, not too far away.
Yeah.
It was like, that's a whole nother episode right there.
No,
we're needless to say, whoever asked that, we are all afraid of random motherfuckers trying to take us out.
Right. Yeah. Basically, before our time.
That's the general consensus.
We got shit to do. We're not scared of anything that's an entity. We're scared of people.
We're scared of motherfuckers.
You might say niggas.
Yeah, he was.
Because it's not just the niggas, it's others too.
Definitely not.
Throw your shit back.
Exactly.
It's everybody. Everybody's a suspect in this situation.
Before we get into what I'm going to push this because I really just want to hear about these Skinwalkers because I've never heard about it. And I want Dee to start so bad. I thought about CJ when I looked this up because, you know, she's our fact queen.
Sometimes, not always. No pressure, CJ.
All the time. And she's so good at it, it's disgusting. So before my phone dies, because it's on 1%, can we do this? Can we do the swatting on the 1%?
Do I need to put cute music behind it?
Cute music behind it, and it's like speeding up for no reason. weird fun facts about Halloween. Halloween is also known by other names: All Hallows Eve, which I think we all knew.
Yep.
All Hallowtide, the Feast of the Dead, which I kind of feel like trumps Halloween. If we could switch that, I'd be okay with that. Are you taking your child out for the Feast of the Dead?
Oh my God, no.
Yes, I am. The Day of the Dead, and then
that's so terrible.
What's the last one? Say it again.
I don't know if it's Samhain. Probably said like way better than what I'm saying. And then, look at that. That must have been the only one I was supposed to read, because guess what happened?
Phone died.
Ooh.
Dead as hell.
I'm done. I can't. But yes.
I'll read the rest later on as we get up to it. But I found some like really cool stuff that I didn't know. I was like, oh, okay. Just even some Celtic rituals that were done and brought over. It's very interesting what we practice here and what we decide in America is normal and not creepy and scary. And very
interesting.
And when you look at the origins, you're like, this shit is creepy.
It really
is. It's interesting that you said Celtic origins about Chupacabra, and we'll get into that when we start talking about Chupacabra.
Yeah, it
Celtic
was
origins.
When they got all into it, like druids and all type of shit, and we just kind of pick and choose what we're okay with here. But that's a whole another story, because I do, CJ, want us to get into like a UFO episode and all
doing
like,
it up.
All those little spots we know about. They even have like some UFO, not UFO tours, but like a travel guide for people that want to see these hot spots for people that say they were taken and all that. It's really
cute. Yeah. We have one here.
Really cool. Because there's supposed to be a hot spot right now. But anyway, I need to get into these Skinwalkers. D, explain. Talk about your mom stuff.
So a Skinwalker is pretty much a shapeshifter. So it's someone that can transform into an animal, and this generally comes from the Navajo culture. So in Navajo, it's pronounced Ye Naldlushi. I'm probably butchering the shit out of that, but Ye Naldlushi is what a Skinwalker is, and it means he or she who walks on all fours is what it translates to. So yeah, kind of gross, right? So it's like somebody who they typically transform into a four-legged creature, but there's also legends of them turning into owls, crows. Usually it's good.
Oh no, D, we can't hear you. Something happened.
You talking about real stuff in the sound.
What is happening? Oh my God, what is happening?
No.
Wait a minute. D, are you on Wi-Fi?
Make sense of it, CJ.
D, is your Wi-Fi off? Because that was fucking...
If he disappears, I'm done. Oh my God. Oh my God. He's gone. He's gone. He's fucking gone.
What was that?
We are not going to make it to the last question. If Heather come out of somewhere today,
no, she a bet. She better be a bet. Y'all, if you are not watching and you're just listening, I don't know if the speakers caught that or what the fuck.
This is next level.
What?
No,
Demetrius. Hey, I can't hear you.
Oh my God. The Skinwalkers.
What is happening?
I'm gonna put my phone up.
First of all, for those of you who are listening and watching, we're going to pause for uno momento and come back. Oh, there he is. Wait.
We got him.
What the fuck?
Hold on.
Are you on Wi-Fi?
No, I closed the program and reopened it, and I think.
Well,
what happened before you did that?
The Skinwalkers heard him. That's what happened.
That's creepy as fuck. All right. Did I really cut out? Or y'all fucking with me?
No.
That really just
I know we play a lot, but nigga, we serious.
How you don't make that happen on the spot? That was like interruption or some shit.
Like, did it sound like static or something? Or
listen, it was static. It looked. I don't know if it was our voice feeding back in or something else's voice feeding in.
I know it sounded like some talking to me.
Yes, it did, and it was not your voice, D. And I couldn't tell if I can't tell if
lying.
I can't tell if it was because me and Brandy were screaming and it was going in and out, You know what I mean?
Let's go with that.
Well, we're gonna go with that, but
So
y'all know that I have to edit this, right? For those of you who don't know, I'm post-production, so I'm gonna have to listen to this shit very close.
Like outside in the daytime, like noon outside.
I usually do during the day. I'm about to take this computer to the office and do it tomorrow at the office because I'm not fucking doing it at home.
Okay.
Oh my God. What if there's no sound when I go to produce it?
Oh my God.
And we're just talking and screaming. Look at these.
That would be confirmation.
What if you went to editing? I wasn't even here.
Oh no, Demetrius.
Who you were talking to?
Are you the Skinwalker?
I'm the Skinwalker.
Plot twist. It's him.
Oh my God. Okay. Gathering myself. All right. Go. D, speak up too, because I think it made you a little bit lower.
It messed me up. Let me adjust my mic.
Okay, cool. Sorry, guys. Don't know what happened. Okay, keep going.
Where did I leave off?
The beginning, nigga. We couldn't hear shit.
Are you?
You start. Okay. Well, you talked about what they were, the four-legged people, like the people who become four-legged, and you said, you know, everything up to they can also change into owls and birds of types and ravens or whatever. But yes. From there.
And they can also change into other humans, is what they can.
Ew, I did not know that.
Yeah. So they usually take shape of each creature based off of what their needs are. So if they are trying to hurt somebody, they might choose a wolf. If they're trying to manipulate somebody, they might do a human. If they want to spy on you, they might choose a raven or an owl or some type of animal that has the ability to fly.
I think Brandy has a question.
I do.
What's your question?
It's like, Professor, a moment of your time.
Yes, Mrs. Blocker.
Yes. Are these like familiars?
No.
What is a familiar?
A familiar.
I'm not familiar with your term.
TJ can tell you. She's a witch.
Actually, familiars belong to witches. So, yes, I can tell you.
I told you.
So, a familiar, the easiest way, if you guys haven't watched it already, the best explanation is to watch a couple episodes of Sabrina, the Teenage Witch, the grim version of it. Salem, the cat, is a familiar. He is actually an entity that takes shape of a four-legged friend that is also usually called a djinn sometimes, but you know what the djinn is? It's almost
like a genie, where a genie comes from, right?
Yeah, it comes from genie, but the djinn is more of like a lower level demon-ish kind of thing.
Is that Asian based? Because
there is
or Middle Eastern.
It's Middle Eastern and Asian. It's Far Eastern. Let's put it that way, because it's all of that back that way, and also witches from like the European background. So it's in general anything that has to do with witchery and things like that have familiars. So these are all animals and stuff that like have a person, like a human or a witch, that they like protect and do things for. So like in the show for Sabrina, like for example, the demoness has a familiar too, even though she's not a witch, but I think she had a raven. And then Sabrina, of course, has Salem, the black cat. And then I think Ambrose gets a little rat of some kind also. So like everybody has their own like animal. So it's a little different from Skinwalker.
I see.
Okay.
So not. So they say that the people who are Skinwalkers usually start out as shaman or considered like a high priest of sorts. And they choose to go rogue with it and want to use their power for bad.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
So they're not like good people.
What's that?
They're not really good people when they get to that point.
People. And then they have the ability to do this, and they're supposed to use it for good, but they choose to use it for bad, and that's where they usually end up tearing people's lives apart. And what they usually have to do, they have to sacrifice someone. It is the legend is that they have to sacrifice someone close to them. So it's usually a friend or family member in order to gain these powers from whatever source that they're getting these powers from.
You said they got to take a family member?
Family or friend, somebody close to them. It has to be a huge sacrifice to show how serious they are. Huh?
I said, yeah, you just answered the question. I said, I guess it got to be significant.
Yeah.
Yeah, it has to be a significant sacrifice in order for you to gain these powers to do the things that they want to carry out. So, yeah.
That's so gross. I can't. That's like
kind of gross. Kind of gross. So typically, they would wear the skins of the animals that they wanted to turn into, hence the name Skinwalker.
Oh.
They would wear that to get the energy, I guess, from them. And
Gotcha.
I could be butchering this up, but this is just the information that I
Right.
So they were, they would typically wear the skins. And historically, within that region that the Skinwalkers come from, only buckskin and sheepskin were to be used only for certain ceremonies. You couldn't just be wearing willy-nilly skins because that was considered taboo.
Oh, I think I read that somewhere too.
When you have like all these other skins that you put on, it was like, what are you doing? Stop doing that. You're probably up to no good if that's what you're up to. So that's why the whole thing is considered taboo.
It's got to mess with your energy too if you wear that many different skins.
Yeah,
like,
I'm sure it does.
Yeah, that's gross. Dude, did I kind of, I'm going to segue into this. Did I tell you guys about the human-faced cat in my neighborhood?
Yes, you told me about that creepy ass shit.
I think I told you. So there's like 4 cats that are like huh?
Like now?
Like right now, there's 4 cats in our neighborhood that are constantly in and out of my house area. Like 3 of them are like super normal cats. I talk to them sometimes. I feed them water because Texas is like hot as fuck, right? There's this 4th cat that has this fucking face that looks human-ish. Like,
Skinwalker.
It's so weird and gross.
It's
like
a fucking Skinwalker.
Like every time I see it, I'm waiting for its shadow to be like human. No, seriously. Every time I see it, I'm like, man, I don't even want to like stare at it because I don't want him to A, turn into a human, or B, me see a shadow of it and be human.
Yo. And the shadows they don't match the body.
And I'm just like, I can't do it. Man. But here's the thing that creeps me out the most. Those 3 cats run or disappear when the 4th cat comes. And when human-faced cat shows up, the other 3 cats scram.
Human-faced cat. I like.
Yeah, that's what I call him, the human-faced cat. Dude, I'm giving myself goosebumps. Like, I haven't seen him in a minute, or her in a minute, but that fucking shit is creepy as fuck. I don't know if it knows that I know, or like, whatever it is.
Guys, excuse me one moment. I gotta take care of something real quick. Okay. All that background noise? Sorry.
Oh, you're good.
Oh, okay. You're really going. Okay.
D about it will pass.
I didn't know what. I was like, what's he talking about?
But no, what were you going to say, Brandy?
I don't know. I think he's about to go put on a skin or some shit. I don't trust him.
If there's an animal that shows up in the next screen, I can't do it.
It's going to be the human-faced cat.
Oh, D's back. Welcome back, D.
Or is it?
Is it D?
Can you still hear me?
Yes, we're good.
If you're with me, tell us something we don't know. No.
Duh, you want to tell them about what your mom saw? Is that a thing?
Oh, with me?
Yes, you, because that's exactly what she saw.
The human-faced cat?
No.
No, not a human-faced cat, but she did see a cat that walked past her, and she saw it was at night, and she said that the shadow that the cat cast was not of the cat.
Didn't match.
She was like, what the fuck? It was very human-like.
Go to Brandy.
Nope.
Yep.
Hashtag nope. All aboard the nope train. And what is that? What is that about? I feel like for what I'm about to say, CJ can give us 30 minutes of explanation.
Oh, no.
Oh, my God. I looked up. I have to show you guys this really quick.
Oh, Lord. We're in all kinds of places today, aren't we? This month.
You guys talking about all these cats and shit.
What is this?
This is a balloon that I got.
I saw that.
For my birthday.
Who got you that?
My coworker got me this cat balloon. Now, what makes this funny is my son has this thing for cats. Like, loves cats. Cats love him. Weirdest shit ever, right?
He's a Skinwalker. No, I'm just
all you gonna see me is leave like,
stop talking about us.
We never saw Brandy again. We'll give all my wigs to charity.
No. No, ma'am.
No, but between that, oh shit, it's looking at me. Between that and I was just thinking, since you hear a lot about animals kind of going fucking nuts when there's bad spirits around, right? Like you'll see it in movies, like horses will lose their shit, dogs will be barking in the corner.
Right.
But something a little different happens with cats, because I don't feel like there's a folklore of cats being afraid and or running off from bad shit. If anything, it's like for some reason or another, the cats are like, I don't know, linked to this shit, even with Egyptians. Like they worship the fucking cats. So I'm like, there has to be something to that. I just don't know what that's about. I feel like you know, CJ.
There's like all these different legends, like you said, and I think cats have a connection to the other side. They kind of limbo between this dimension and the next dimension. Like, so they're.
Oh, that's why they're so fucking weird.
Yeah, that's why they're so fucking weird.
Nice.
And that's why I don't particularly like cats myself. Like I'm nice to them because I know better, but I know that when I look at them, I get goosebumps all the time.
This used to happen to me as a kid, and
all the time.
People say that I'm fucked up for this, but when I would see a cat, I hated them so much. I would always go to pick up a rock just to throw it at a cat, right? And it's crazy. I never succeeded because I would always like bend down and pick it up, and at the time that I would stop walking and go to pick it up, the cat would always turn around and look at me and then run away. Like it knew what I was about to fucking do.
Oh, yeah.
Shit's weird.
So here's the thing. You guys, have you seen that video? It went viral a while ago. The cat barking like a dog.
Hell no.
And it got caught by the owner on video.
Shapeshifter.
You ain't seen it? Oh, I'm going to send it to Brandy later.
No, I'm good.
It's a skinwalking cat.
We're fine. Here's why we're not going to do that, because I actually am planning on surprising PJ this weekend because he loves cats. There's this huge cat convention at our center here. There's gonna be 1,000 cats there, and I was like,
"Oh God, no!" One of them's a shape.
Because cats, funny enough, don't bother me. But a couple of my friends are like, "Oh, because you are a cat." I was like, "I'm not a cat. I am.
You are.
I'm totally a cat. Like moody, random, just crazy." But
knocking shit off the counter for no reason.
Oh my God, I do that. My boss, sometimes he'll have like little, whatever he has up on his desk, sometimes I'll just go in his office and knock the shit down and then walk off to break. And there's no reason why I do it. I just do it because I can.
Me too. And when I do it, I say, mash up the place. Mash up the place.
You guys are terrible.
We are. We're horrible people. We're cats.
Tigers.
We're tigers.
I'm so done.
Oh my God. So yeah, long story short, you're not sending me shit because I'm about to be around all these cats and I don't need, no, I'm good. Don't send me that.
But so here's the thing.
Done turned toward me too.
Like, but historically, cats are supposed to be strong in the spirit world too. Like even in things like Marvel. Remember did you guys watch Captain Marvel?
I watched it.
Okay, so you know
the
Flurkin?
The
Flurkin? Yeah.
Damn.
Like, you gotta...
Have y'all seen Constantine?
Oh, yes. That's my favorite
movie. What the fuck was that with the cat and the water and the foot?
So that's one of my favorite movies. I don't know if you
What was that?
I love it so much.
So basically, that's what I was saying. So cats walk this thin line between this side and that side so they can connect. They're like a gatekeeper, sort of speak.
That is so interesting.
Like some Anubis type shit.
Yeah.
Well, I thought Anubis was a dog.
He is a dog.
He is a dog. But dogs usually have a different kind of like...
Speaking of Anubis, a big ass statue of that motherfucker is in front of the Denver airport.
Like
is it still there?
I'm sure it is.
I'm pretty sure.
Serving whatever fucking crazy ass purpose.
Man, listen. To make one that big, and I like art. It's well done. It's beautiful because I like the aesthetics of things. But honey...
But still, I can't get with that. I
can't get with that. And you know there's like celebrities that had that shit all in their house, right? Like huge statues of motherfuckers.
The Anubis thing with the horns and stuff, right?
Anubis with horns?
Yeah.
Or they'll have it like, you know how people do like the taxidermy shit and it's all hanging on their wall? They'll have the different Egyptian things hanging on their wall. But I'm always like, it's interesting which ones you choose. Like you chose Anubis versus Isis versus, you know what I mean? Mm-hmm. Like it's interesting depending on the position somebody's in, celebrity wise or politically or whatever, and what they choose to kind of be around and draw from. I'm like, we're onto you motherfuckers.
We know.
That's a whole other episode.
We know. But anyway, so Skinwalkers craziness. Be careful of cats.
Careful, cat.
If you see a shadow that don't match, don't say nothing. Just
don't say nothing. Just keep it pushing.
That's another thing my grandmother used to say is if you see some shit, don't mention it until you are far, 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 far away. Oh my God, that just reminded me of another story. But like, seriously, don't mention it. I don't know why people like overreact in the moment because that's how they get you. They know that you know. Yeah, just
run away.
Yeah, don't even run. Just walk away. Don't let them know.
Like not showing that works to your advantage. I don't think it's ever benefited anybody showing that they were scared. Even in the animal kingdom, they will tell motherfuckers to stay still or
I'll run. I'll say, "Ooh, ice cream," and start running. I don't give a fuck. Like I'm getting the hell up.
Or
is that pizza?
There's some creatures they say you don't break eye contact with to like establish dominance. I haven't been in that position, but I could see where that would be the case.
Yeah. I mean, I totally understand that. Like, you gotta like walk away from that shit. Seriously, don't do it. But speaking of all these animals, the next part, were you done with Skinwalker? Because the next part you said you were going to talk about
Chupacabra?
Yes.
You want to hear about that shit?
I mean,
I want to hear about all the shit. Yeah.
Chupacabra.
We'll do that, and then and then we'll take turns for the next one.
Okay, so we'll go forward with Chupacabra. So Chupacabra literally means goat sucker. Chupa, of course, meaning to suck, and cabra means goat.
Wait. They suck on goats? You know I'm looking at you, Steve.
I think that's just a generic term. They suck on all kinds of creatures. So what happened was, the origin of this story comes out of Canovanas in Puerto Rico. Mm-hmm. There's a town called Canovanas, and this dude came outside and was trying to figure out why his livestock was dead, specifically his goats, and it didn't have any blood. It was dry as fuck. Like, it was just all the blood was sucked out of it. And this has been happening to not only goats, but sheep, cows, pretty much any bovine or any livestock. So they even chickens,
right?
Turkey, any type of animal that you would keep, will pretty much suck it dry.
I've seen some of the carcass too.
Isn't it trippy? It's trippy as hell, right? Dry. There have been rabbits reported to have been attacked by Chupacabra. It's pretty crazy. But yeah, like I said, it comes out of Puerto Rico. The original story, I think it took place in the early 90s, is when people first started freaking out about it. And then a lot of people started coming forward saying that they have seen and specifically smelled, a creature that was killing their livestock. So there's been a lot of people that it smelled like, I guess, the wet dog smell times 1,000. Like, it was one lady, I think she was in Guatemala. She reported that she was in her, like, she had like a patio area that was like a screen house. So she was enclosed, but it was still kind of outdoors, and she was sitting out there, and then she smelled it. So she knew an animal was near, but she said this was like no other animal that she had ever smelled. She said it just stunk. Like, it was bad. Ew. And then the next day, like, half her fucking livestock was dead. And then she's not to mention her livestock was like freaking out and making noise, and she's like yelling at them to calm down or whatever. But they're all dead the next day. Not all, but a good half were dead.
But they're with dead no blood. Because of that blood being taken out, and that doesn't make sense for like a rabid animal, because the body of whatever would be shredded apart. It wouldn't be like
they only want the blood. Only want the blood. So some people believe, a lot of people I'd say some enthusiasts, Chupacabra enthusiasts, believe that they were brought to the New World by the Spanish, and that the Chupacabra are actually descendants of gargoyles. What? Going back to that Celtic thing. So in their appearance, they appear very gargoyle-y. And the way they look like
gargoyle-y.
Yeah, some people say they look very gargoyle-y. Some people say they look really wolfy, doggy, and dog-like appearance. Some would push it more toward a gargoyle. Some report seeing them with wings. Some report seeing them without wings. But they got the same thing in common, as they want to eat. They want to suck all the blood out of your pets, which is pretty for your pets and your livestock, which is pretty fucked up.
No, thank you.
So you have a group of people that believe that they are associated with the Spanish that brought them over from Europe, and that they are descendants of gargoyles. You have another group of people thinking that they are actually descendants of a genetic experiment gone wrong. So they said that they had the military, specifically the U.S. military, was doing experiments in Puerto Rico because there were several military installations in Puerto Rico. I think there might still be some, but a lot of them have closed. But there was one specifically, I'm not sure if it's open or not, but there was one damaged in 2000, or no, not 2000, it was like in the late 90s.
Mm-hmm.
It was damaged by a storm. And they said that this specific laboratory was in El Yunque, which is like a rainforest area. And that it's a military, like a freak of nature that the military created. And due to the storm, it got loose and it just started reproducing and went crazy. And if some of them had wings, it would explain why sightings of the Chupacabra span as far south, of course, Puerto Rico, you have in Guatemala and some parts of South America, and it goes as far north as Maine.
You know, that would make sense that the sighting started in the 90s if it was a tech situation.
Hell yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Not before that.
They did this. They did this like they did AIDS, like they do everything.
Yeah.
Them niggas did this shit.
Oh, no.
They did it.
I did not know.
So I want to go into some others.
Like that's crazy.
So there's the military, then some other people believe that they are actually related to a primate called the aye. So aye is this primate that's out of Madagascar. Some people believe that they've always been here. It's just that some people might have caught some, didn't know what they were, and took it as an exotic pet to tropical regions like Puerto Rico. And once it gets loose in the tropical region, it feels very at home. It can multiply and it can wreak havoc on the native populations, including the populations of livestock. Oh. And that might just be an undiscovered animal that just likes to drink blood. And then if somebody brought it to Puerto Rico, somebody with money might have brought it to Miami, maybe Boston, up in Maine. Who knows?
Yeah.
It got loose and was able to wreak havoc.
Somebody told me about the exotic animals that are in Dallas and stuff that rich people have that they're not supposed to have.
See, and that could be a possibility.
And that's a possibility too, if that was like an exotic animal that not everybody knows about and they keeping it hush-hush because it draws blood from other animals.
True,
like you wouldn't want that in the zoo or anything. People would be totally against that.
People would freak out about it.
Trying to think, like, is there anything out there that does that just naturally outside of
closest thing is piranhas. They just eat flesh.
So like a vampire bat?
Yeah, vampire bat and piranhas. That's about it.
But vampire bats, they don't want all your blood. They just drink some and leave.
Yeah, they're like bigger. They're like a big mosquito.
Big ass furry.
Right. So I'm thinking of animal wise. I'm like, ain't shit out there. Just like, okay, blood only, clean carcass. We're just going to drain the fluid like that.
That's really creepy.
Does not.
Brandy froze.
And she almost near death.
Makes sense. And then when you kind of add
there she is.
Government, this is possible. Oh, see, I said government, and they wasn't on it.
It was like, nope.
No.
Freeze your ass.
Now my internet connection is unstable. Guess what?
Unstable.
I'm unstable. Yeah.
All our agents are watching us right now. Like, we're going to mess with them. Maybe that's what it was earlier. Maybe. We're going to scare these motherfuckers.
My agent better leave me alone if he wants some funny memes.
Not funny memes. Oh, my God.
Lastly, people, so this is lastly when it comes to the origin. So some people think that they are extraterrestrial. So some people
I was going to say that. I was like, I've seen those theories a lot, too.
So some people have associated those theories with the fact that a lot of UFO sightings have been associated with Chupacabra sightings. So people will report, hey, all my fucking cows are dead, but then that same night, people reported lots of UFO activity.
Right.
So there might be an association with that. We never know. But yeah.
That's crazy. I'm not okay with the Chupacabra situation either. He did
what was that?
She said she's not okay with the Chupacabra.
All these animals that I don't want to be around anymore.
Okay.
Yeah.
And then animals are different than like entities, because I always feel like with most spiritual, ghoul, whatever, there's something that you can make sense of, whether you're believing in just solely the spirituality, or if you go scientific, it's like, or did you just go practical thinking? I return this, you'll stop doing what you're doing. Or this last child dies in this bloodline, and then this curse is over. You know what I mean? With animal, my son better stop coughing in his sleep.
Was that your son coughing? Oh my God. I can't.
Chupacabras in there like choking them out. And I'm like,
no,
that time.
stop.
Anyway, with animals, there's just no reasoning there. Like not with the scary, crazy animals that are associated with like death and mayhem. There's no talking to no fucking chupacabra. Like, hold on, we can negotiate this.
Yeah.
Oh. So then
there's no talking to a lot of deadly shit, but I bet you with some thyme and oregano, motherfucker's probably just as delicious as the rest of them. So I'm willing to establish this relationship.
We got chicken, alligator. We got the chupacabra. Like, would you?
A little dill
some blaze orange and some camo, and we can go at it.
That's what they're using in the meat for the Popeyes chicken sandwich. Fucking chupacabra.
Chupacabra.
I'm done.
That's what it is.
I'm done with all of you.
You almost had us, Popeyes.
It makes sense.
We're too smart.
Shit's not chicken at all.
Dude, so, hey, speaking of the chicken, can I say something real quick about that? Is it weird that they, all of a sudden, everybody's doing chicken things? And I feel like they're trying to get rid of some mass amount of chicken in a short period of time. Is it just me?
It's not just you.
There was the overproduction of chicken?
I don't know if it was that or if there was like a stock of chicken that wasn't bad enough to recall, but not great enough to resell in the stores. And they were like, well, the restaurants will take it. And now let's
just give it to Popeyes and just start a scandal.
Because I can't remember who I talked to, but somebody, I don't know if it was one of y'all or my friends over here, but they were like, you should probably wait to eat at Popeyes with that sandwich situation.
I tried and I just missed it. So I waited, not because I wanted to, but because of my circumstances.
Well, here's my thing, right?
I'm good.
So typically fast food, like chicken, they've been in the freezer or whatever 6 to 8 months. So I don't know why they ran out. That's my...
Oh my God, wait. The Popeyes chicken is really like the McRib, but like refurbished.
What if they start doing that like as a marketing gimmick?
I know, right? Isn't that crazy?
It's not crazy. My fast food experience, even though it was many moons ago, I remember going to the freezer several times and wasn't thinking about it at the time, but when I was thinking about it, I'm like, I'm making eggs, but I'm pouring it out of a carton. Or I'm taking something out of a can that really shouldn't be canned. You're not thinking about the shit. You're just trusting that everything is real, but it's just frozen. I think most people think that way. That's the real scary shit.
Dude, I remember where we worked at, D, when I went to the kitchen and I saw that nigga like pull a can out and it was all white on the outside. He sliced it. It was yellow in the middle. It was like slicing eggs. Like
that shit was disturbing.
I was like, wait a minute. I was like, y'all really, like, some of these restaurants, they don't use real eggs that are like out of eggshells. They're like in cans.
Yeah, molded. It's pretty fucked up. Yeah.
Which is why
as like hotel breakfast food.
Sometimes, yeah, like the place I worked at, yeah.
No, this was at
this one was at a truck stop.
Truck stop, yeah.
I'm gonna get a truck stop that.
But cheap hotels do that too, just so you know.
And I worked at a major hotel, and I don't know what I'm sure they provided the guests with premium shit, but when it came to the employee dining room, I've watched, not the current place that I work now, the place I worked previously, and when you get a boiled egg, the texture would just be really weird, fucked up. Like, this is not an egg, this is weird. That shit, I saw them bust out a bag of boiled eggs.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
And it didn't have a shell on it. It was just a bag of boiled eggs.
Yeah, so
and none of them were cracked, none of them had split, nothing. They were perfectly round boiled eggs.
That means it's processed.
And I was like, what the fuck? This shit tripped me out.
We really have to do like a whole episode, like you were saying, about like health food and what we know. I know you're probably going to be the most knowledgeable on it.
Man, D's good too. He be like on it.
But fuck. There's too much shit out there.
It's a lot.
Too much.
Again, more scary stuff to think about. Not just the chupacabra, but fucking eggs. That aren't really eggs.
I know. Well, okay. So now that we're done with that part, Brandy, were you gonna do a creature?
I mean, I was going to, but since my phone died and it's charging.
Oh, it's charging. Okay, well then I'll go with mine then. I'll go with mine. So
wait. Before you start, because I just thought about it. Yes. And I'm only having you do it because I like your voice. Can you read old girl's story? Because she says she's okay with us sharing it.
Yeah.
The Okie story.
Last week, after we posted our first episode, one of our listeners sent in a story that I thought was pretty awesome. Let me get to my Insta real quick.
It was awesome.
It was awesome. Like,
so awesome.
And she was in Okinawa when this happened.
Get you.
I just thought, I'm going to keep her anonymous because I did that. I told her that's what I was going to do. So this is he said, it's the Okie story. I'm just going to go ahead and read what she wrote because I think that's the easiest way to do it. I just need a sip of my tea.
Yeah, get that throat lubricated.
Uchina.
Yes. I'm drinking dandelion, by the way, today. That's what I'm having. It's really good. You guys should try it. Roasted dandelion.
I learned how to make dandelion wine in a crock pot, but that's another story.
I don't want to drink dandelion anything. I'll drink Dan.
Ew.
I won't drink dandelion.
I hope my brother is listening to this episode.
I'm only saying it to mess with CJ. I do not want to drink you.
His face was great just now. Listen, Dan. Brandy said what she said.
No, I'm good.
Okay, I found it. Okay. So this is the Okie story she sent into us. She said, in 8th grade, we were living in Chibana. That's part of Okinawa.
Chibana.
My mom has always been sensitive to spirits and whatnot. She's even been possessed at one point, but we're not getting into that one. She'll see things following people around, spirits of depression, crap like that. Anyway, shortly after we moved to Chibana, she would hear whisperings at night when she would try to sleep. Whatever it was, it would whisper in her ear and she wouldn't be able to sleep. One night I was sleeping and I felt something smack my legs together. Another time I could hear the dishes rattling in the kitchen and the chandelier in the living room started swinging. The stuff my mom was experiencing intensified, so she decided we needed to bless the house. We wrote down the Bible verses on blank sheets of paper and taped one on each main wall downstairs, upstairs, and on the staircase. We prayed over the house and my mom anointed the walls with oil. At that point, I was sleeping with the Bible because it was the only thing that brought me comfort. Then the fire happened. My little brother, fire happened. My little brother swears he blew out the candle in my room. It was next to my bed, so my bed caught fire. We didn't realize there was a fire until my entire bed was in flames. Me and my brothers all ran to my mom's room at the same time when we saw it. My windows blew out and pretty much everything upstairs was ruined. When we went back in to assess the damage, every single piece of paper had been turned over and was still taped to the wall. Those papers with the verses.
What the fuck?
Yeah, she's saying that it was turned over and still taped to the wall.
Baby.
Later, they found whole pages of Bible that had been laying on my bed. Mind you, everything in my room was destroyed and my bed was what initially caught fire. So they found pages out of the Bible on her bed, unscathed, even though the fire was on her bed. And then she said we have some more crazy stuff happened in Okie, but that was by far the worst of it. But then the small snippet she came back was with, so she called her mom and she said, I just called my mom to ask her about this. And she reminded me that there was also a figure that followed us around and would stand in my doorway. After the fire, it followed us to our next house and it was stood in my doorway. Like,
doorways.
It can't go.
Right, doorways, windows, closets.
I have a thing with windows. Rob thinks I'm crazy. Like, I'm looking at it right now, that little crack. I don't like that. Like,
I don't like doorways. Doorways fuck me up.
You know, I don't have a thing with windows because I actually love sleeping with I have the blackout curtains. Mm-hmm. They're always open, especially during the winter times. I just like the snow and all the rest of that stuff. So windows open don't bother me. Open doors bother me.
That fucks I don't like it.
Like, even you ever feel like just the energy of it feels like something's watching you.
Oh yeah.
You know, like it'll just feel heavy in a space, in a moment, wherever, whether you're at home by yourself, whether you're in public. I've turned corners and I'm like, something is watching me.
Kiki, do you love me? Type. I'm gonna tell you a story about that. I got a cousin named Kiki. Hey Kiki, if you're watching.
Hi Kiki.
So I don't even know where Kiki at. Kiki is not fucking with us, and I don't blame her because my family crazy as fuck. But hey Kiki, But
shout out to Keeks.
My mom was in the house, so it was a house in California. It was my great grandmother's house, and it was crazy because it used to be a duplex. It used to be two houses, but the wall was broken down, so now it's one gigantic house, kind of like the ones in Okinawa. Because I think it used to be base housing actually.
Oh, okay.
And then the base closed, and then they gave it to the city, and they busted down walls, and they became projects. So
My
great grandma was living in there, and my mom said she was upstairs in one of the rooms, and she woke up and she looked out the door. She shared a bed with her sister at the time. Hey, Aunt Camille. So she said that the light from the stairwell. So you know how the stairs will go up. So Brandy might know what I'm talking about. In Jennings, how the houses work.
Yeah.
How you walk through the front door.
And my stairs were here.
Stairs were right there that go up.
Oh, yeah.
So like that. So imagine
there's a window right by the door. Those like hard ass aluminum doors.
Yeah. So imagine a window upstairs at the top of the staircase.
Okay.
That was outside. So, but they had one at this house. And there was a window at the top of the staircase. And my mom said it was a full moon that night, and the moonlight was shining in through the window, and it illuminated this little girl that was standing in the hallway, and she thought it was my cousin Kiki, because my cousin Kiki is about maybe 5 or some odd years older than me. So I wasn't born yet, but Kiki was a little girl. And she was like, "Oh, hey, Kiki, is that you? Kiki, what are you doing?" And then she said the girl was just standing there and was just looking at her. Wouldn't say anything, but she saw that she was wearing a dress that my great grandma had thrown away. She remembered her throwing this dress away. She's like, "Oh, that's a pretty dress. Why'd she put it in the trash?" So she saw her standing there in the hallway, illuminated by the moon, and she was like, "Kiki, like, if you're scared, just come in the bed. Just if you're scared, come here." And she wouldn't come. She just stood there. And she was just like, "Fuck it." So she said she just went this way, and then she looked up, and she was gone. So she was like, "Oh, Kiki must have got back in the bed." So she was like, where did she get that dress from? I could have swore she threw that dress away.
Right.
Turns out Kiki, that was not Kiki.
Of course.
Kiki was in the other room. Kiki was sound to fucking sleep. The dress was long gone in the trash. Turns out that dress was bought for a previous cousin that was a baby at the time that she had passed. Yeah. So she passed before I was born. And she passed when my mom was so young that she really didn't remember.
No, ma'am.
So she was like, "Why did she throw that pretty dress away?" She kept asking. And then everybody was like, "Well, she threw it away because it belonged to that individual who was my cousin, who died at the age, I want to say maybe 3.
Oh, man.
And Kiki was around that age. So yeah, doorways, she told me that shit. That's where my fear of doorways started. And then I had my own doorway situations happening. Yeah. I don't fuck with doorways.
Well, at least with that situation, it didn't seem to be some thing that wanted to hurt anybody.
Yeah.
That just made me really sad, because I'm like, damn.
Why did they choose the top of the stairs? That was one of my stories too. Remember the house I had in San Antonio, D?
Yes.
When I lived with my ex. So I had this 2-story house, and my ex.
The blue one.
Was it blue? I can't even remember.
Or gray? Was it blue or gray?
It was grayish, bluish, something like that.
Yeah.
But it was on that corner. Okay, so when I lived there, my ex's sister told us that she saw a lady or a girl in white at the top of the stairs. And we were like, what the fuck? And like, seriously, there's 3 bedrooms upstairs, but one of them felt a little weird to me too. So I never really went in there or put things in there. Because it was just me and my ex, and then another set of couple who lived there for a while. So we got the master bedroom, and the other couple got the bigger of the other 2 left. And then that 3rd bedroom, nobody really wanted to stay in. And I was like, okay, that's cool. Like, but one time, our friend Tomo and his boyfriend at the time came to visit us, and has stayed in the extra
Tomo
bedroom.
came to that house?
Yes.
Oh, I didn't know.
Yeah, I think was it Tomo and Jimmy? I think it was Tomo and Jimmy, actually.
Oh.
Jimmy.
Yeah, and like they came and stayed. Tomo could not sleep in that 3rd bedroom. And the other couple wasn't there, so we're like, let's change. He was like, I keep getting nightmares. I can't sleep in this room. Like, I can't do it. And so we switched him rooms, and the minute we switched rooms, he was fine. He went right back to sleep. I was like, this is the craziest shit. Like, that room has something in it.
Do you think sometimes different entities possibly follow or, you know, bother certain people because they want help? I'm speaking from the ones that seem to have unfinished business, maybe want that particular person help or gift to get something done.
Yep.
Yes. Yes. Because,
CJ.
And of course, there's the bad ones, you know, that want to use that person as a vessel when it's like, I could use you to just access.
Oh no. See, so here's the thing. People who get used like a vessel, which my friend always gets used for different things. I'm not gonna say his name because he's so easy and open and vulnerable. Because
I was just gonna say he must be open as fuck.
But it's not open like I would be open. It's open like he doesn't know that he's open. That's the problem. Like, I got stories about that boy for real. Like, I have like 5 of them on my list, but he didn't know that he was susceptible to all of this too often, so he didn't know that he had stuff attached to him. Like, one of the stories for that, actually, that's a good one. He was going to college or work, one or the other. And that day, like, he's from Oki. So I don't know if you guys know what a yuta is. It's like a priestess, kind of like a spiritual woman in Okinawa. It's not a Japanese thing. It's definitely an Okinawan thing. And they like cleanse homes. They do spiritual work with people.
Oh,
yeah. A yuta. Okay. So his mom had asked a yuta to come by their house. And that was early in the morning, and Tomo had already left once, but for whatever reason, he forgot his wallet that day. And he turned around, got home, and he was like, I need my wallet. Well, so up until then, that's what I forgot to tell you. Up until then, he had been doing this weird thing where when he would get off of work or come home from doing whatever, his body was physically so tired that he would park in the driveway but not go inside to sleep. He would sleep in his car because he couldn't make it into his house. Like, he was doing that day after day after day after day, like for weeks already. So when this morning happened where he forgot his wallet, the yuta had already arrived in between him leaving and turning around and coming back, right? And so he walked into the house, and the yuta turned around and saw him and was like, get out. He was like, what? She was like, you need to get out. There is so much stuff on you. You do not need to bring this into the house. And so she...
Was it heavy on him?
It was heavy.
That's fucked up.
He said she took him to a part of the outside of his house and turned him around and started like patting his back. She was like, oh my God, why do you have so much stuff on you? And she was like, everything was like flying out of him. And she was like, do you guys have a dog? He was like, yeah. She was like, play with the dog when you come home. Let him play on your back. Let him play on your front.
What is that with the dog?
Because animals they can see stuff. And she was like, play with him. So ever since after that day, he was like, my body feels so light. I have more energy again. And like, that kind of goes back to what you were saying last time, where the energies get sucked out slowly sometimes, but it like piling on itself and causing other ones to notice that it can pile on top of each other. So he had different entities just on him, and it was like one of the craziest things I've ever heard. I was
that's like, what happened to this little boy, and I wouldn't doubt that this is somehow, some way, somebody's real story. But in that the movie series I like, Insidious, and it was like one demon was trying to get through or got through, and that was attracting others to.
Oh, absolutely.
It was like an open vessel, because when his dad went into this like netherworld or whatever to get him, by the way, dad goals, like that was a real parent, man. So he goes into this crazy demon spirit world to get his kid, and there's this scene where you can tell that they all notice there's an opening here. But before that opening happens, they're all kind of floating around almost in their own like purgatory situation. And then they notice something or someone is open. It's time to
Yeah, they're gonna try to get the fuck out. Yeah.
I really feel like that's why a lot of shit be happening, that people can't explain why so-and-so would kill all 4 of the kids and eat them.
Well,
Or
so,
you know what I mean? Like do shit that would be normal by human, you know, standards, or I should say by how we live in society today, because if we're going centuries back,
exactly.
Maybe the Mayans wouldn't have thought that was weird to cut somebody open and do A, B, and C. You know what I mean?
Familiars.
Different, right?
But that's, you know what's crazy? My grandmother used to say that shit all the time. She would be like, you know, if there's 1, there's 10. If there's 10, there's 100.
Like a roach, girl.
Yep. And she was like, if you see 1, don't let them know that you see them, because then they can just be like, yo, what's up? Like, chill up. Yeah, they just keep coming at you.
Like, for instance, when I had that weird ass situation with the oboe thing, when me walking up that path.
What?
And somebody thought it'd be cool to bring incense outside. I said, why the fuck would you do that shit?
No.
So so you remember where I used to live in Okinawa, how we lived on that bluff. And at the bottom of the bluff was Sterling Heights Elementary. Yes. And it's that cutout of the mountain. And that fucks me up already when it's a cutout of a mountain or a hill. It just bothers me. I don't like that. I don't think that should be disturbed. But we just came and blew out a path to this neighborhood. And it was just a walking path. You couldn't even drive up this shit. It was just wide enough for like people on bikes and people to walk to this neighborhood, to the school. And then at the bottom, it like opened up to a pavilion. There was a pavilion at the bottom and like some seating areas. And then it opened up to a field, and there was a soccer field on the other side. It was set up very nicely, but it always gave me the fucking willies. And then all these, I said the willie. So up the hill was a banyan tree. How you say banyan tree?
Gajimaru.
Yeah, Gajimaru tree. Huge at the base of that one. And it stayed. And I'm pretty sure I know why it stayed now. But all my Filipino friends told me the scariest shit about how in the Philippines there was this entity that would sit in a banyan tree and smoke like a pipe or a cigar, some crazy shit, and it would smoke it, and when it exhaled, it would fog the whole area up. And now it became foggy, and then you would have trouble getting home, and it would cause confusion or all this other bullshit. So I was walking home one day from like the USO or somewhere, just got done dropping a whole bunch of fucking brown, fucking crazy, and I'm walking home, and then I get up this path. And like the farther I go, the more creeped out I get. And then I hear noises and I'm hella scared. And then I see all my friends. So
oh no.
Brandy knows MB. I'm not gonna say any names, but MB was there. MB from my neighborhood. Crazy MB, skinny boy.
Oh my God. Yeah.
Yeah, MB was there.
Oh no. My God.
Other people were there, and I was like, I'm happy it was you guys, and I'm freaking out at this point. I'm happy to see it's you guys because I was hella freaked out. And they're like, oh, what are you freaked out about? So I told them the whole situation. So somebody brought out some incense and started burning it. So the wind was blowing. It seems like when the incense came out, the harder the wind started to blow. So from my knowledge, the harder the wind blows, the harder the incense burns. That's just me. I always thought that was the case. But we're sitting there and we're sitting at the bottom. The wind stopped and the incense went out. And when the incense stopped burning, I was like, we got to get the fuck up out of here. Everyone's like, what the fuck are you tripping about? Like, the incense just fucking went out. They went out. We got to go.
Yeah, we're not welcome.
We're not welcome. Some shit is, and we're sitting in that same area in the hill. The way it was cut out, it's like it was cut out of the mountain, kind of, this walking path, and it still had a slope going up. And then that slope over time had grown grass.
What kind of incense did y'all have?
I don't know who had these fucking incense.
Was it
was some incense.
It wasn't the black ones that Okinawans use, is it?
It was brown. I remember it being brown, like a dark brown.
It was it a stick or was it like the flat incense that's got
it was a stick.
Okay, so it's a different kind then. Okay.
It was a round stick, but it went out. And I was like, why did that incense just go out? I think me noticing that the incense went out was like, what the fuck was that all about? They were like, what? I'm like, it went out. They're like, so? I'm like, that's weird as fuck.
And see,
so I was like, let's go.
That's how you get caught up in shit.
That's how you get caught up in shit.
I mean, all day when nobody else wants to hear you out, because you're clearly like, hey, this shit ain't
not
right.
me. Not me.
Look, what's going on? Why do we go?
Okay.
I'm attached to this and it's
okay, so please stop scaring us, D. Stop.
We can't.
Sorry.
D's camera just moved, and me and Brandy were both clutching our pearls. Like, what the fuck just happened?
I'm connected to my camera, so it swiveled when I moved too much. Sorry.
No, you're good. So what's funny? The banyan tree thing in Okinawa, there's a spirit that lives in it too. It's called the Kijimuna.
Kijimuna? Does it smoke?
No, but it plays tricks on people and it makes it hard for people to go home. Just
what
like
the fuck?
And so the Filipino one is called Capres, one or the other.
And he's dark. They told me he's black, like dark.
So the one in Okinawa is red-skinned.
Oh.
Dark red skin. So it's very similar. Like
that's crazy. There's always something connected.
I know, right?
Always.
Give myself
these stories are right, goosey bumps. These stories are interesting across the board, especially when you take the time to be open-minded and read about other cultures and just see these similarities. Like it may not be 100% true, but I'm like, I'm giving a lot of the stories I hear about 70 to 80%.
There's gotta be.
There's no way that you're all experiencing
the same
thing. And it's a coincidence. There's no fucking way.
There has to be something that ties these things together.
There's gotta be.
But the way we're set up, it's easier for us to believe the history books that are shoved down our throats and than it is to believe the shit that we're talking about.
You know what? I was telling my mom one day and a couple other people, our history book sucks because whoever the conqueror is always going to write the history. And so I was, telling my mom, I was like, how much do you know about the Vietnam War? And she could tell me all kinds of details. Like if I asked you guys that, you guys couldn't tell me much because we had 2 paragraphs in our books? 3 paragraphs?
I know it was
2 or 3, but
Vietnam.
And there's nothing in our books really in school that they teach you about because
I learned about it?
It's considered a loss for us.
What I learned about it is I went to college, but I didn't learn it while in the classroom. I learned it from my Hmong friends. You know Hmong people? So a lot of people don't know of Hmong people because they got the shit in on the stick. So I have some Hmong friends from Wisconsin, and I was like, well, okay, where are you guys from? They're like, oh, well, there was so-and-so from Laos, so-and-so from Thailand, so-and-so from other places. And I'm like, okay, where country do you guys originate from? They're like, we don't have a country. I'm like, how do you not have a country? They're like, we don't have one. I'm like, how are you a group of people with no country? And that shit blew my mind. And then they started talking about the Vietnam War. This is why we don't have a country. This is why so many of us are in the United States. And I'm like, huh? Open my mind up to a whole lot of other stuff. But that could open up another episode.
Well, I mean, when war happens,
talk about that.
War happens, it's like Okinawans. Ryukyu Kingdom was its own kingdom, but somehow after the war, America gave us to Japan. I don't understand that. We were not
that shit.
That's why Okinawans, I don't know about the new generation, but me and older, everybody always says that we're not Japanese, we're Okinawan.
I got into it. Shimoji Sensei, if you're walking.
Hi, Miss Shimojo Sensei.
If you're watching, hello.
But if you're walking or watching.
Either one. But I put, I don't know the proper way to pronounce it, but the kanji I wrote was Uchina Jin?
Uchinanchu. It's a jin, but it's Uchinanchu.
So I wrote Uchinanchu because I was writing a paper about the influx of STDs and HIV, specifically HIV in the south of Kyushu. And they're talking about how it's on the rise just there, but not so much in northern Japan. So that was what my essay was about.
That's
so I was talking about that. So I put, that's a whole other can of worms. Once I got older, I was like, this is fucked up, but whatever. That's another episode. So I wrote that, and then she was like, you shouldn't put Uchinanshi or Okinawajin. You shouldn't put that. You should put Nihonjin.
No.
And I'm like, but it's not affecting Nihonjin, it's affecting people of Okinawa. She's like, yeah, but specify that. Like, she told me how to specify Okinawans that live in Japan. I'm like, no, I'm talking about these people. Mm-hmm. She's like, well, you're making it seem as if Okinawans are not Japanese.
Well, we're not.
And I'm like,
I mean, okay, so it's
and
like
somebody from that age, I get it, but at the same time, she's an educator and she's taught.
Right, they're taught.
Shouldn't break it down that way.
Right? Citizenship is Japanese. As a people, we're Okinawa. It's like this. This is how I explain it every time when people get into it with me. I'm like, Hawaiians, yes. I was like, citizenship, American. But these people consider themselves Hawaiians. They are not Hawaiian, Samoans, whatever they are. That's what they consider themselves. I have never met an Hawaiian person that says, I'm an American. They usually always says, I'm Hawaiian.
Have you ever met a black person that said they were American either?
It's very rare. It's very rare. There's a new movement, though, with the black, red, and green flag.
Oh, yeah, there's a lot of people.
And I used to rock that one. I rocked the Confederate one, too, because all of our people come from the South. So it was a Confederate flag that was, instead of the blue, it was black. And then it was like red, black, and green. Because I'm like, we are of the South. We red, black, and green. And guess what? We happy y'all motherfuckers lost. Be happy.
But
happy about that shit.
It's a weird thing. I know. Man, off topic. Get back.
Off topic.
Back.
It always goes back to that.
By the way, we had a comment from our listener who was like, "It is so funny how hard you guys try to stay on task."
It's ridiculous. We are.
It's so funny.
Which I think we're good at it. Separate, like some of my friends would even say I was like an overplanner taskmaster. I'm like, and then other times, depending on who I'm around, I'm like, what? Oh yeah.
I mean, I think it's a good balance. We just talk about our shit and then go
talk
wherever.
About it and we let it go.
Hope you love it.
To feel like you're in a conversation.
Exactly. All right.
And
so
if
next.
You don't love it, fuck it. All right. Sorry.
No, you're good.
This is why. This is exactly why.
All right. Let me get this going. So next part. The reason I have my little witch hat on today that I got from my mom. So I wanted to talk about Mary Webster of Hadley, Massachusetts. Have you guys ever heard of her?
I have. That's why.
No.
Okay, so she was accused of being a witch in 1689.
Then I'm probably sure I've heard of her, but didn't.
It's right before the Salem trials happened. Salem happened in 1692, like 3 years after all these things went down. But Mary Webster, is somebody who got accused to be a witch, and she's also may or may not be related to this author Margaret Atwood. Do you know who Margaret Atwood is, y'all?
I've heard that name.
That Half-Hanged Mary poem.
Yes, but she also is the author of Handmaid's Tale that everybody is watching.
Which one?
Handmaid's Tale on Netflix. Or Hulu.
Really?
Is it Hulu?
She wrote it?
She wrote the book in 1985. Is what she did. Yeah, so Margaret Atwood, her grandmother used to tell her that she may or may not be related to Mary Webster, the witch, or not witch, whatever you want to call it, accused witch, allegedly a witch.
Alleged witch.
Yes, and so the poem that Brandy's talking about, the Half-Hanged Witch, is what Margaret wrote because she didn't know enough about the history at the time when she wrote that poem. She was like, I couldn't find everything that I needed, but she wrote a poem in a narrative standpoint, basically, like as if she was Mary Webster being hung in the tree. Because so what happened was Mary Webster used to live in this village in Hadley, Massachusetts, which is a very small Puritan village. Everybody was like super Puritan, right? And like these.
For those who don't know, what is Puritan?
Puritan is, how do I explain it without being like long-winded?
Pilgrim. It's a pilgrim.
Okay, that's a good short way to say it.
Aw, D, you're good for something.
No, because I'll just go into like the history of and then end up at Puritan.
Let's talk about the history of Puritans first.
We didn't want to do that. Thank you, D. So basically, yes. So Pilgrim. So she used to live in this town called Hadley, Massachusetts, and people used to thought that where she lived was weird, and like like the farmers or whoever, if they passed her house, their horses supposedly stopped and wouldn't go past her house, like they were spooked or something. And in order to pass through, these farmers and villagers would go into her house and abuse her and beat her up, and then the horses would be free to pass. That's the story, right? And so one day, this dude, this local guy named Philip Smith got really, really sick. He was apparently like a super godly guy. He was well liked, like well respected by the whole community. And in that time period, people didn't understand, you know, diseases and things like that. So when he got really, really sick, they were like, it's got to be a witch. Where's the fucking witch? And of course, it leads back to, man, my horses don't want to go by her house. I mean, it could have very well been like natural gases that the animals could smell and that they couldn't, or whatever.
Or maybe radon, because that existed back then too.
Yeah, or something. Magnetic fields, who knows? But they were like, fucking, it's got to be Mary. Mary's the one. She's a witch. And they were like, in order to get rid of the torment and the tortures that he was going through, they were like, we're gonna go fuck her up. So the townspeople got together and decided to hang her. Right?
Oh, nice.
You're right. So the poem is crazy too. The poem is written by the hour by the author. It starts at like 3 a.m. or something, or some shit like that, or 7 p.m. I'm sorry, 7 p.m. where they go to hang her on the tree, and she's like talking to herself. She's like, "Oh well, hi God, I have time to talk. Let's talk about this free will situation." And she just goes on, and then she'll come back and she'll be like, "It's 3 p.m. now. I mean, like 3 a.m. now, and this is happening through my head. My neck is hurting, blah, blah, blah. It's 6 a.m. now. And like, I wish I could tell you that my hair turned white overnight, but it didn't. I'm just struggling." And then 8 a.m., I believe, rolled around, and the townspeople are like, surely she's dead. Came back because she's being hung in a tree by her neck. And they cut her down, and she's like, surprise, surprise. And she was like, I wasn't dead. She made it. She actually lived 11 more years after that hanging, which is like absolutely batshit crazy.
Is that a real? Is that the?
It's a real true story.
No,
it's like history. Huh?
No, I was backing you up with that. I was telling.
Oh yeah. It's a true like crazy story.
She really lived 11 years after her hanging.
Yes, she lived 11 years after hanging in the tree overnight. Like, and that's why she was like, if I wasn't a witch before, I'm a witch now. And she like was like, I grinned at the
I'd have been all about that motherfucking witch life, motherfucker. You got me fucked up. You got me hanging from this goddamn tree. You got all these motherfuckers out here trying to trip on me behind some witch shit. Y'all motherfuckers got me fucked up. I'm finna like this motherfucker finna be set the fuck off. Y'all got me fucked up.
I'm standing behind D.
Got me fucked up. You think you finna be got me hanging from a motherfucking tree? Y'all, shit. It finna be the witch. Y'all got me fucked up. That's fucked, man. That's some bullshit.
You was so bad. You mad or you mad?
I'm gonna be the witchiest. That mean I got me fucked up.
He said we gonna be the witchiest witch.
Seriously, I believe so many stories about. Cause I was just watching some, as one does at late at night, some voodoo shit, right? And I'm like, I don't believe everybody starts off on some. I'm gonna get into hoodoo, or I'm going to be blah blah. I don't think everybody starts off like that. Just like I don't believe everybody starts off just an angry person or struggling with depression or whatever. I feel like something can happen to you so fucked up, or you like consciously or subconsciously you turn yourself over into some other
be the motherfucker. I'm finna.
Who's the supreme now, bitch?
Stop! Put that knife down, D. Oh my God!
I was cutting grapefruit. I was cutting grapefruit. I was like, cat.
Whose side are you on?
I mean, fucked up.
You're either about this witch life or you're not, CJ.
I mean, you know, I'm not a witch. I'm a
See, now you sounding like them. See how that stuff? You want to choose her? You sound like Choosy Susie.
No,
you want to be Choosy Susie on the motherfucker? Being Choosy Susie, you want to choose her and go with them? Or you finna be with us?
Who the fuck is Choosy Sue, nigga? What the fuck?
This one? Where she at, D? Seriously. That one?
You gotta do the Martin point. Like, what's her name, D? Oh, Martin.
Oh, yeah.
Bam.
Oh my God. See, these niggas be off
when we actually like step our pussies up with this production, I want to go to Martin, and I want us.
I'm done.
No, not Martin. Just Pam.
Just Pam.
Just call us Pammy. Shout out to Pam.
I cannot. I can't stand y'all.
Oh,
but no, so where was I can't even remember.
You was talking about how that motherfucker shows up and
Okay, but so here's the thing. This is the crazy part. So the crazy part is, so Margaret Atwood, who's the author of the poem about Mary Webster, who also wrote Handmaid's Tale, she did it because she was like, the Handmaid's Tale is dedicated to Mary Webster because she's like an example of a woman who was wrongly accused, just like in Handmaid's Tale, right? But because she didn't die, she's like supposed to be a symbol of hope. And then she went on, like I listened to some of her interviews earlier. She was talking about how people.
Who's blasting Chris Brown?
What is that music? What?
Man!
Fuck.
Play no games. Man, turn that down.
Oh my God, D got little boys running around, y'all. Excuse me for a second.
You got it, girl. You got it. That's a song though.
Y'all. I can't stand y'all. But no, so she was like trying to like compare like politics now, because she was talking about how women's rights are being attacked right now, just like in the Handmaid's Tale. And she was like, you know, a lot of the things that they were saying in the 17th century are happening right now, especially about pregnancy and like abortions, things like that. I heard a clip of a lawmaker earlier, and he was like talking about, why do the men have to pay for pregnancy tests and pregnancy whatever, like prenatal care, aftercare, like why do we have to pay for it, is what this dude was saying. I'm like, but it takes two people to get a bitch pregnant.
Takes two to tango.
They just want
it takes two to tango.
It's the craziest thing though, ain't it? Because you're just like, so it's just like any of the other laws too, like, so if the girl, I mean,
let's just take it back to that time where any white man really is going to be more powerful than you, whether he's involved in politics or not, whether he has money or not. He's just always in a better position even today, right? So like I was saying earlier, even if I wasn't a witch and didn't believe in all that shit, if something crazy happened to me, and all I had to do was sacrifice somebody and have like a chicken foot or some shit
not
on
a chicken foot, I can't.
Wipe out your whole lineage. Like I can put a generational shit on you. Yeah.
When it comes to that, I get it.
Like, let's get this done in the next full moon, because I feel like we were saying before, energy is real, that unforgiveness is real, that vengeance is real, that anger.
And the hope is real.
Yeah.
So if you can put yourself in a situation where you make sure that you provide hope.
That's true.
Or you can provide yourself with some hope.
Listen. And they got
especially without
Mary, the person that they were accusing, that they wanted to live so bad and was accusing her of killing. He got sick like a couple of days before all this shit was going down. Like CJ said, Mary lived, old boy ends up dying and had like scratches and boils and all type of crazy shit on his back that the doctor at the time couldn't explain how it happened.
Right.
What was going on. But around the same time they found him dead, they found out she was alive. And I'm like, I highly doubt that shit's a coincidence.
Probably not. But here's the thing though, I have like, the only issue I have about the witch situation is like, I think a lot of people misunderstand witch and witchcraft and covens and covenants and all of that.
Like what is a witch and what is not a witch versus, like, you know what I'm saying? That's what I think
as
disconnect.
Yeah, well, here's the thing. I think that witches get a bad rap for the most part because of like social media and like all the stories.
But even before social media, like
even before that, so like
because they was knocking bitches off.
They were so even with this Mary Webster case, right? So she was just some lady that maybe pamming, hashtag pamming. I'm gonna put that on the tags.
If I was ever a witch, that's how I'm gonna curse somebody.
I'm so bitch. She said, bitch. You don't sound like that, bitch.
I'm so dead. But no, like seriously, they're like, I feel like they're misunderstood because First of all, a lot of those women were not witches. So like in Salem, in what is it,
Massachusetts?
Yeah, in 1692, when they jailed 150 people at one point and then murdered 20 women and said they were witches, I just
and that
can't.
shit, what made that so bad is when I started researching more about it, and when I get into like talking about the Chiloe and all the rest of that shit and warlocks there was shit going on overseas and in Europe before they decided, like, y'all carried all this shit and superstition
over to the New World.
Yeah, I mean, but that's the
New
thing.
World.
It's like superstitions and things like that. But like I'm saying, like witches now too are misunderstood because I think a lot of people think that they're satanic for whatever reason.
Because they are. But continue.
Most of them are not.
Tell us about your friend.
What defines a witch is what I want to know.
So,
what defines a witch?
The reason they call it witchcraft. Why are you pointing that way? I guess it looks opposite
because
to me.
on her,
on her thing, it's the opposite. Okay, so like witchcraft, from what I understand, is like the craft that you use spiritually for yourself to protect yourself and your surrounding and your loved ones, right? So in order to do that, you use natural elements, crystals, water, herbs, things like that to do all those things. Now, granted, it's just like hoodoo and voodoo. There are always going to be a percentage of people who do use that shit for malice.
In the wrong way. Right.
Always. And I think it's just the same as in social media too. All the wrongness, all the shitty stuff is always the ones that get attention.
So is it just because that you're able to take something that's tangible and to attach a connection with this thing that you have in your hand to God, and you're able...
Why am I thinking about
I blew my own mind just now.
I mean, because if you think about it, even crystals are, you can hold it, but it's a vibrating thing. It's vibrations. It's not actually
it's a vibration in connection to what?
To the elements that are in the air and to parts of your body. So like, for example, the third eye is connected to the blue stones because that's what the violet stones actually that connect to your third eye. So if you hold it closer there, you do much better.
I'm sorry.
Indigo, actually.
When you were saying connected to, it was reminding me of like the hip bone's connected to the
neck bone.
The third eye's connected to
the reason why I blew my own mind, is because I realized, I don't know, this is another episode, but I blew my own mind because I was thinking about everything that's tangible that you can hold to pretty much, I wouldn't say enhance, but to be symbolic of what you're taught within.
Oh, yeah.
What you're taught of your own religion. And then at the same time, I think about, okay, well, I was trying to draw a parallel. I drew a parallel, which I should have done, but I drew a parallel. Like, okay, well, this is just like people of like Christian or Catholic faith with the crosses.
Exactly.
And then I'm like, wait. It's the same goddamn thing.
It's the same thing. So, but let me tell you about the crosses, though. If you're really Christian, you shouldn't even have a cross in your house.
You should not. You really shouldn't. That's why I was like, I shouldn't have drawn that parallel.
If you're really anything.
You're not supposed to have anything.
I've always had a problem with anybody obsessing or worshiping or clinging to really almost anything tangible. And I know that's a stretch because some people like make their kids kind of like their everything, or they feel like they can't make it unless they touch this court 3 times a day. Like there are people that take it to that level, and in any form of that, it worries me.
Well, that's like subliminal training. It's just like baseball players, for example, who are like, I got to eat roast beef sandwich tonight. Call my mom at 8 p.m. The night before.
It's their ritual.
It's like their ritual, right? People do it. Basketball players do it all the time. I touch my ceiling 3 times, and then I go talk to the coach for 2 minutes.
But people have to realize that ritual does not guarantee success.
It doesn't. But in their mind, it's a placebo effect.
But wait a minute.
Like sugar pills.
But wait a minute. What if it does? What if it's a Space Jam all over again and it's really you drank water, it was really water, but I convinced you with some other shit.
Placebo effect. That's what I'm saying. It's a placebo effect.
But what if it works, CJ?
So what I'm saying is, if it's a placebo effect, it's
gotta say this shit one more time.
Let me say this again.
Let's rewind this shit, just in case you didn't hear my answer.
Let me Missy Elliott this for you. Take it back.
Okay.
Okay, so what I'm saying is, if it's a placebo effect, it's just like anything else in life. You know how people make like, what's the thing they made? Those like vision boards now? That's a big thing, right? Vision boards, gratitude journals, anything that you make into a tangible thing.
Sorry.
She's laughing. You good?
Hold on. So, I have a vision board.
And a gratitude journal?
It's old, right? And I do. I have an app for it. There's an app. Anyway, it was funny because I like to use just images of what I want, but not making it like flat out obvious. So I put jagged edge up there because I'm like, I'd like to be remarried again, right? My sister comes to my house to visit. She uses my bathroom and she was like, oh, your vision board's cool. And she looked and she was like, what's this one? And I was like, it's jagged edge. She was like, nigga, you want to see jagged edge in concert?
I'm done.
Bitch, I was gone.
That's what you want out of life?
That's what you want out of life? She was like, nigga, jagged edge. I said, no. I was like, I want to get married. Like their song, let's get married. She was like, oh, I was fucking weak.
But that's what I'm saying. But so you have one. So what I'm saying is you utilize that. You like utilize that to keep yourself motivated. You utilize that to achieve goals. There's no difference in all of these things. They're just used differently, or it's different elements. So when people are using crosses and praying, because if you go to most churches, there's a cross at the altar, no? Or
on top of the steeple. And what the fuck is that shit all about?
Or they just have a whole ass Jesus on a cross inside of the church. Like those creep me out.
Whole ass white motherfucker. Hey,
but you know, a lot of those buildings, when we also get into it too, because I've heard about how they're lined up, longitude, latitude.
Oh yeah.
The energy
and phallus.
The stars they may be aligned under, like all type of shit.
Like it's
they didn't talk about the phallus.
Stop doing that with the phallus.
It represents a hard dingling.
I know. We know. Thank you.
We know this. We know
it's a hard dingling.
But what you didn't know, Brandy, is that it was a dingling. A hard one.
Dingling.
I hate y'all. That's a soft serve. I can't do that.
Serve. I wish somebody would. Ready for this girl.
You can't wait for this, bitch. I'm gonna throw y'all back out this bitch. Look at that ass. Knuckle.
You know what? I can't even. I can't even. But no, seriously though, like
Gucci gang.
Put that smuddling stick down. Oh my god, y'all are ridiculous.
I'm sorry, CJ.
I'm signing off. Fuck this.
No more tequila for me. Sorry.
Oh no. Jesus, the one day I'm not drinking. Jeez, I needed tea today. I'm PMSing.
No, we can wrap it up anyway.
You need a muddled beverage.
It's 2 a.m. here, and we need okay, witch. You better get them herbs together.
I'm done. But no, I just, you know what it is? I want people to like go research this stuff, like whether it's the Chupacabra. Don't listen to just us because we do our own research and we're
the same as you.
But
we're the same as you.
We're the same as you guys, just better.
Oh, wow. I didn't say that. That was Brandy. If y'all are listening, that was Brandy.
No, seriously. Like, we're better than you.
Oh, that was
Just keep listening.
We didn't want to say it like that, but believe it's telling the truth.
We're obviously joking.
Oh, my God. Obviously.
It's so sad that you have to say that now.
Yeah, people do take you seriously.
I money back from YouTube. You didn't give any. Fuck that. It's fucking free, bitch.
I'm just done. I'm done. But no, seriously though, people, I just want people to like research it because I think like a lot of major religions get a bad rap. They really do.
Yes,
and I'm not just talking about witchcraft. I'm talking about all the other ones too. Like even Buddhism here, people think it's weird as fuck. It's very close to Christianity.
Yes.
It really is.
You know, we had a receptionist come in and she has her little statues and different things like that at her desk. And I always say God knows who to tell me to say hi to or talk to, because I'll almost always talk to anybody, but sometimes you just feel drawn to ask somebody how they're doing or ask them, what's this mean or whatever. And some people were tripping out about some of the shit that she had at her desk. But I feel like even if we reverse it, right, and Christianity and anything related to Black Jesus wasn't so heavily saturated, that would be the weird shit.
Right.
That would be the demonic crazy shit. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You don't know anything about it. And when you don't know what you don't know, and we've seen it happen hundreds of years over and over and over again, it's instantly bad. It's instantly evil. It's like, it's gotta go.
That's literally how witch hunts started.
Every fucking time. And
all
I'm
the
just
time.
Like, believe in what you want to believe in. That's your business. I ain't here to convert no fucking body because I ain't got the energy or the fucking time.
No.
However, I do believe it is wise to educate yourself. That way you can at least have tolerance. And this is same thing with cultures. It's like, understand why some other people may do to some shit that you may not be into, but it's their shit. Just respect it from afar and leave it alone.
Just respect it. That's the thing.
Respect it. And I'm going to say this because I'm Team Black Jesus. I'm sick of fucking anybody that's Jesus related, no matter what they believe in, because there's just so many avenues, right?
Mm-hmm.
Being dogged out because all of us ain't assholes, all of us ain't faking church, all of us ain't bullshit, and I feel like we're not standing for ourselves enough. It's easy to be a punching bag because of the history with that, and I get it, but I'm just like, all right, the narrative need to change with that shit.
Yeah.
Catch this shit though.
I'm tired of it.
Catch this shit though.
What?
I sucked the dick before. You want to know what else? You know what else?
What else, D, nigga? What else?
Did you love it?
You know what else? I believe in Jesus. I'm sorry. You can go die in your grave now. Go bury yourself today. I don't give a fuck.
There's a lot of people.
My belief is my belief. And guess what?
That's the thing.
I also believe in other shit too.
Yeah.
So kick yourself in the nuts.
Kick yourself.
Do you know what's also crazy? There are also women who so happen to have some dicks in their mouths that also praise the Lord.
Oh, they've had several. And guess what?
Dicks.
You want to hear a secret? Come here. Come here. No, you know what the crazy part? Come here.
What is it?
I've sucked those same ones.
No!
Yo, daddy? Yo, daddy?
Not Pastor Jenkins.
No! Oh my God. If y'all are not watching this on YouTube, please do.
Pastor Smith.
You mean Smash the Smith?
No.
Rolling on in.
I'm in. I'm
rolling on in.
I'm rolling. I'm listening.
Nah. You want to know what the crazy part?
What?
Bill the T says.
Pastor Thompson.
Who are all these?
What about Deacon Brown?
Deacon Brown?
Fuck Deacon Brown. That nigga, he's the trade. He the church house trade.
I'm so done.
Fuck out of here.
Look, how am I be Sunday?
So done.
Deacon Brown, you trade?
Listen, listeners.
Anyways.
I really want to tell people that they should watch the YouTube for the spooks.
You gotta watch the YouTube for the spooks and the stab ups because I'm stabbing.
Stop with the knife. God.
Anybody who I'm cutting fucking.
Why are you cutting so many grapefruits?
For my signature.
Why are you asking so many questions, Witch CJ?
So,
what now? What? So much going on. What, Randy?
A signature cocktail for my next client.
Look at the way he's cutting that. That's really scary.
That's what's killing me, how he's cutting it.
Oh my God, please be careful.
See, what had happened was I was cutting this next fruit for my client.
I'm done.
I'm so done. Real talk. I'm cutting a signature cocktail for someone who approached me that knows that I used to be a mixologist a long time ago. And she told me about her birthday that was coming up. She's celebrating her dirty 30. And she was like, I like spicy. And I like sweet, but not too sweet. So I wanted to come up with a cocktail that was very grapefruit. So she doesn't like sweet. So grapefruit. And I can incorporate sweet with it with triple sec and make a margarita for her. That was very celebratory. I'm sorry?
Keep that same energy when you come see me.
Yep. December, right?
Because you're my nigga though. Oh my
God, I can't.
December.
But no, do you guys have any short stories y'all can tell today?
A short one?
Really short one?
Scary one? Short, scary.
What time is it?
That's my haiku, 2 a.m.
What's short and scary? Short and scary. Oh, Nephilim. Should I talk about Nephilim?
No, that's too long.
It's 2 a.m.
It's 2 o'clock there? Oh, shit. Look at what time it is.
Do I gotta say the Japanese, bitch? It's 2 o'clock.
Well, we'll do this. Let's next episode.
Go niji sai. No go niji. Gojo. How do you say it?
D might be slightly intoxicated.
What do you mean?
Gozen niji. Because it's 2 a.m. Gozen because it's 2 a.m. Gogo is 2 p.m.
What is Gogo? PM?
PM.
Gozen.
Randy.
Listen.
Okay, so let's do this. So next week, let's do some stories next week because I have like a million stories.
Well, we'll do stories, but I gotta make sure I cover the Nevada story.
And I think I'll bring one short character and whatever Brandy wants to
I'll do
Brandy, what are you
doing? Thing because they was twisting up babies and
you
shit.
You said B2K? What?
Documented.
Not B2K, nigga.
Not B2K, but shit, we could talk about that too because that Chris Stokes shit was scary.
That's some scary shit.
When we look back at those pictures that were in Word Up magazine, I'm like, bitch, what? Y'all was really all on top of each other like that as kids?
Hella fucked up as kids, and nobody said shit. Nobody's parents stepped up to say shit.
Nobody's parents. And y'all all half naked.
It sounds like we need a music episode. Hollywood episode.
Hollywood, scary ass Hollywood type shit.
All right.
And I'm steady drinking my fucking liquor. So
I know, we can tell. It's about to wrap it up. Wrap it up before D loses his mind. So if you guys are listening on your favorite podcast platform, go ahead and subscribe to our channel, The Triangle. That way you can get our new episode every week. If you
can have my signature cocktail.
Oh my God, are we putting your shit back on? This is my witch hat. There we go. And if you're listening to us or watching us on YouTube, please make sure you hit that notification button, that bell, so you get our episodes every week. Like and comment, subscribe. Every Thursday at noon Central is when we drop our new episodes. D is really making a new drink.
Lime juice.
He don't need nothing else. He don't need nothing else. But for real, next week, I think we're going to go ahead and do a few more stories, maybe a lot more stories, because I feel like a lot of people love
we got a lot of space to fill.
Yes, we do. If you are listening or watching and you have a story as well, please send it in to us. On the YouTube and on Instagram and stuff, we'll leave a link to our Gmail, whatever it is. It's The Triangle. That's TH, the number 3, TRIANGL at Gmail.
I have to say this. I fucking hate the way we spell our name, by the way.
Why?
I had to say it.
It's cute. Get over it. It's too late. We bought the website.
And guess what? You want to know what else, Brandy? There's nothing you can do. Too late.
It's too late. It's too late to apologize. It's too late.
It's too late to apologize.
I hate you. But no, for real, if you guys have stories, DM us, send it into our emails or whatever, or Facebook and Instagram. We will definitely post and read out loud like we did the last one on this episode. If they're really, yes, for real. Like, we love your feedback. We love your stories too. So give us a holler. Oh my God, D. So on that note, before D done lose his mind and I don't know what's going on with her werewolf hat, we're going to go. Y'all have a good night. Stay spooked.